What if the very magic that chose your destiny suddenly rejected you? For over 1,000 years, the kingdom of Elendor trusted one thing above all else, the Royal Crest. It was said to be the voice of destiny itself. It could never be forged, stolen, or mistaken. Once it chose the true heir, that choice was eternal. No king had ever questioned it. No priest had ever doubted it. Until one unforgettable day, destiny itself changed its mind. As the first rays of sunlight touched the towers of Elendor, the kingdom came alive with celebration. Streets overflowed with flowers, music echoed through the capital, and thousands gathered outside the royal palace. Today was not just another ceremony. Today, Crown Prince Kael would become the next ruler of Elendor. No one knew they were about to witness a moment that would change history forever. Prince Kael walked through the palace with calm determination. He was admired not because he wore a crown, but because he had earned the people's trust. He protected the weak, respected the law, and believed that a king existed to serve his kingdom. Every step toward the throne carried the hopes of an entire nation. But fate had already chosen a different path. The throne room fell into complete silence. The high priest slowly raised the sacred crystal toward the heavens. Golden light spread across the marble floor as ancient runes awakened after centuries of slumber. Every noble held their breath. Every knight stood perfectly still. The ceremony that had crowned generations of kings had begun. Then, the impossible happened. The glowing crest on Kael's hand flickered. Once, twice, and then it vanished. The golden light disappeared as though it had never existed. A gasp echoed throughout the throne room. The sacred magic that had guided the kingdom for 1,000 years had just rejected its own prince. Silence quickly turned into chaos. "He's an impostor," someone shouted. "Arrest him before it's too late," cried another. Guards drew their swords. Nobles stepped away from the prince they had praised only moments before. Kael searched the room for someone, anyone, who still believed in him. Even the king lowered his head without speaking a single word. In one heartbreaking moment, the future king lost everything. Far beneath the palace, hidden beneath layers of ancient stone, a young royal archivist named Rowan continued organizing forgotten books. Unlike the people above, Rowan cared little for power or politics. His duty was to protect history. But history was about to call upon him, and his ordinary life was about to end. A heavy leather-bound book suddenly crashed onto the floor. Startled, Rowan bent down to pick it up. Before his fingers touched the cover, it opened by itself. A strange blue light escaped from its pages, filling the archive with an eerie glow. Written across the first page were 4 words: "The true bloodline." Rowan carefully turned the page. At first, he saw the portrait of Crown Prince Kael. Then, the ink began to move. Letters vanished. New words appeared. The prince's portrait slowly faded away until nothing remained. Rowan stepped back in horror. This wasn't recording history. It was rewriting it. A freezing wind swept through the archive. The candles flickered. Rowan slowly turned around. At the end of the dark corridor stood a hooded figure. Silent, motionless. Only 2 crimson eyes stared back at him from beneath the darkness. Then one final sentence appeared inside the glowing book. "You were never meant to read this." The candles went out. The archive fell silent. And somewhere beyond those walls, history had already changed.